People change, therefore their opinions change on certain things, and sports are not an exception. As an athlete, there is always a chance that you can go from being beloved to being absolutely hated. But today I want to talk about the opposite effect. Today I want to talk about players that I personally disliked in the past, but now I don't hold any grudges against them. And I can assure you that the last person on this list will surprise people who have been watching this channel. But to start off, I want to talk about the legend of the sport, a player who has done it all in tennis, and it's Andy Murray. When I just started watching tennis, the sport was dominated by three guys whose names I won't even mention because I'm tired of talking about them. But as a kid, you always root for the best because you are scared of seeing your favorites lose. So they were the players that I cared about the most at the start of my tennis journey, but there was always this pesky little Brit with an awful haircut that tried to do anything in his power to ruin the big three dominance. And when I was young, I didn't like it. I thought that he was ruining a good thing, but now that I have grown older, I have learned to respect Sir Andy Murray. As I said previously, this man has done it all. He got to the #1 ranking in the world. He has won Grand Slams, he has won Olympics, he has won Masters tournaments, he has beaten everybody who he played against. And the fact that he still plays tennis after suffering awful injuries is just undoubtedly admirable. He might not be the same Andy that was winning big titles, but at least now he has become my favorite of the big four. Moving on from a legend to someone who is just starting his journey in the sport, and it's Ben Shelton. I remember watching him play in the North American Challengers last season and thinking that this guy can be really annoying, but the thought didn't make me ignore the fact that he's a talented prospect that can shake up the tennis world, so I continued following his journey. It was funny to see how some of the tennis fans got progressively madder at him as he became a more prominent fixture on the ATP tour. And this course of events in a way made me a fan of his, because in my opinion it was odd that people were hating on a teenager for being unapologetically himself. I have never seen him do anything on the court with malicious intent. He can be a bit too much at times, but honestly that doesn't bother me that much, and as of late I have seen people changing their opinions on this guy. So I think it's just a matter of time until the world starts enjoying Ben for who he is. For the next entry on the list, we are staying in the US, but we are switching tours because Jessica Pegula is a player that I didn't like that much at first. You know, people love to act like they are holier than thou, but sometimes we can be superficial, and in this situation I can admit that I was superficial. When I found out that her father is a billionaire who owns multiple sports franchises, I instantly thought that Jessica is just another annoying person who was born with a silver spoon in their mouth. But the more you get to know about Pegula, the more you understand that she is just a chill person who can present us with some gems at the press conferences, but most importantly she can produce some great tennis as well. Everybody knows the saying, don't judge the book by its cover, and thankfully Jessica is someone who validates this saying. But now it's time to surprise the loyal viewers of the channel, because I can admit that my thoughts on Casper Ruud have changed recently, and even though I still stand by some of the things that I said about him, I have come to the conclusion that in a way Casper is just a hostage of the situation. For example, when his and Rune's beef escalated at the French Open, Casper was just used in order to spread the narrative that Holger Rune is a bad person. Then I disliked the fact that he had a chance to become #1 in the world if he had won the US Open final against an exciting future great of the sport, Carlos Alcaraz. But again, it wasn't his fault that rankings were really messed up at the time. I also was not a fan of his pretty boring personality, but again, it's not his fault that tennis is so sterile in terms of personalities. I'm not saying that now I am a fan of his, but I can definitely say that I'm not wishing on his downfall anymore. Have you ever had a player that you disliked at the start and then you became a fan of them? Comment your experience down below. Also, let me know if you would want to see the opposite of this video. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, take it easy, my friend.